Okay, so what we have here is the BMW E89 Z4 digital dash. If we can just get into this box. Now this thing is very well packed. And as you can see, you've got your housing and the digital dash. So yes, on a first look at this, it's extremely well built. Quality. So all I can say is actually very good quality, which is kind of what you want when you're replacing a original dash. You want it to look something like it's actually made for the car. Along with the housing is very good as well. So let's get on with the installation. So into the car, the first thing we're going to do is drop down the steering wheel so it's out of the way, which gives us clearance for fitting the dashboard. Now underneath the dashboard there is 2 Torx bolts. This device does come with a little Torx screwdriver, which is handy to get into this nice tight little space here. But yeah, remove your 2 bolts. And from there we can take out the dash. So once you've removed your screws holding the dials in place, you should be able to just flick the unit down and lift it out, as we've got space now between the steering wheel and the console. And on the back of that you'll see a couple of connectors. Just disconnect those from the dash itself. Now with the dash removed, you'll see a couple of proud pieces, this side and this side here. You'll need to take those out because the actual screen will hit against these when you put it in place. So it's a case of just maybe a little hacksaw blade. I'm just going to take these out here just to give it a bit more space. So we're finally at the stage where we've cut away those little plastic bits. As you can see there, cut away nicely, allowing enough space for the dash to go in. There is a cable. This needs to feed down the back of this unit here, and it will come through the side pocket. Now you can remove this light unit here, as so, which gives you access to the side pocket and to run the cable through. So let's just do that. Now this is a USB cable, so it'll connect to the back of the screen. It has a USB connector on the other end, which I will feed into this little slot here behind the light switch, and you can get access from the side pocket if you need to update the unit in the future. So let's just connect everything up. So once you've got the dashboard in place, then tighten up your screws, the 2 screws holding the dash securely, and that fits a treat. So now the dash is in place, let's get the key in the ignition and see how it starts. Wow, that was quick. Yes, that looks pretty amazing. Let's see if it can come on before my other screen. So yes, I'm going to have a quick run through with this, and I'll give you the specs in just a second. Okay then, so the instrument cluster, basically by pressing the BC button, you can select which setting you want, whether you want comfort mode, you have the sport mode, progress mode, and sport plus, which is like the race mode. So there's various options you have on this. We'll pop it onto the sport mode, and 1 down again onto comfort. So if you go all the way down, press and hold your reset button, it takes you back to the top. You've then got your date and time, self-explanatory, language, general setup. Go into general setup, you've got the daytime brightness. You move down, you can adjust the nighttime brightness, which is around about 20% it's set on. Any more than that, it's extra bright. So if you don't want it shining in your face, lighten the cockpit up, then basically about 20% is a good setting for that. The color of the information, which on here is red. Driver mode, you can adjust your driver mode, And again, this, by pressing and holding your button, will change the color of whatever theme you've selected. In this case, I've gone for Sport Plus, or you've got your comfort mode here, which I believe is what I actually had it set in earlier. So speed warning on and off. Your speed warning, you can set an alarm for when you reach a certain speed in the car, and it will give you a warning for that. I'm just going to adjust my driving mode again. I don't want the blue theme. I like to stick with a more in-fitting theme for the car, which is the plus mode. That's better one for my liking anyway. Press and hold return. Takes you back to the settings here. Now factory, if you want to get into the factory settings, press and hold. Now you want to go across to the first number and leave that on 0. Press and hold to go to the next number. You want 1. Press and hold again. You're looking for number 6. Let's go back into that. That's what happens when you're a bit over keen pressing the buttons. So 0, 1. You can toggle right the way through if you do miss it. Press and hold, goes on to the next. So you want number 6, press and hold. Then we're looking for 8. 0, 1, 6, 8. Press and hold. Once you've highlighted OK, just single press. If you hold it, it'll go back. So main tank, you want to set this up for 26, which is the size of the main tank. Sub tank 24. Now, if you pop down to your vehicle type, you press and hold this button here till you get to Z4. If you've got the Z4. Now the model, there's options here. You've got model F, which puts the displays for the petrol and the water temperature on the outside of the dials. You press and hold that to E, it moves those on the inside of the dials, as you can see there. You press and hold again to E87 and the whole lot shifts up, which I kind of prefer this layout, is raise the dials slightly. You see that? So I'm going to leave it on that setting. Hybrid off. Oil scale is on. That's the oil dipstick, which is on the bottom of the display there. You can see just in here. So I've left that on. Now return back from this. If you go into factory again, and now this time change the last number, rather than 8, change that to a 9. That gives you the second sub menu. Now from there you've got door information, which is when your doors open. That's on. Your cruise control, if you've got cruise control, enable it there. If you haven't, then don't worry about it. Tire pressure I haven't worried about. Don't need warning lights for that. Angle sensor, I've enabled that. The torque split, I believe that's for a hybrid. That's disabled anyway. Startup enabled. Refueling enabled. Reset enabled. Intelligent. Idling enabled. Metric units, you can change this from kilometers to miles per hour. Obviously we want miles per hour. Clock enabled, so it shows your clock display, 24-hour format. Outdoor temperature enabled, and the unit in centigrade. Door information enabled. Fuel tank, it shows you on the dial here whether your fuel tank is on the right or on the left, and this is where you can change it. Reversing sound, I don't want annoying reversing sounds really. I know I'm reversing, so that's disabled. Vehicle setup enabled, and we'll return from there. So that basically covers your simple settings. You press your return button, you go back to the top. That's your system settings. Trip meter you've got on the top there. Press your button again. Real-time information. Now this is where you'll leave it for all the real-time information when you're driving, which is all the information you need on there. back up to the top, then you've got information. That's where you can reset your trip meter, the steering angle, service information. Now clicking on this one will actually take you into your service info, and there you can reset your oil and oil filter change, front brakes, inspection, fuel, fluid levels, all sorts. You can reset it all from there for your service, and also it'll give you indication as to when your next service is due. So this is already set up. I've set this up myself. Spark plugs I've just changed, so you can set up when you need to check those again, and that's your information. Now let's go back to your main screen, just hit return, hold that, then we're back in the top, so we're back in your driver mode. But I have to say the screen itself is absolutely fantastic. The quality, the camera doesn't do it any justice whatsoever, because obviously the camera is only picking up a certain amount of light, but the dial itself is pin sharp, it's crisp, it's responsive. If I switch it off, which I will do now, there we go, that's off. That's the screen you get. This kind of stays on for about 5 or 6 seconds, then that will disappear as the car shuts down fully, which is quite a nice touch. There we go, that's gone. So basically if I pop the key into ignition, that's that quick. That's how quick it comes in. It's actually quicker than my main screen, which my information screen, and the entertainment, which is now booting up there. So that's how much quicker it is. But yes, great unit. Love it. I'm glad I fitted it. It was a nice easy fit. The worst part was actually cutting out the little plastic bits either side. I had to buy a little Dremel tool for that, just to cut those plastic noggins out. If you've got anything else you can do it with, then I suggest you use that. But once you've cut those out, pretty much plug and play, and it looks great, absolutely fantastic. Looking forward to doing a review on this in a few months' time once I've had a bit of a drive around with it. Thanks for watching.